Hey guys, what's up? What's up, everyone? It's Jackie Felix here, and today I just want to, explain to you guys why, in North America Siege is so dead right now, and why it's in such a bad state. And no, it's not because of the game developers. It's mainly just because of the community. So let me give you guys an example of this week, right? And it's been like this for pretty much multiple weeks, where essentially only one region really gets a fight. So on Valencia, it was just a handoff. Black Rose hand off the castle to Barcode. On Medaya, it was like a 20-minute fight. So this was probably the biggest fight of the day, surprisingly. It was Unli Rice versus another newer siege guild who had some mercs. They're not a siege guild, they just like had a new guild that dropped on Medaya and brought some mercs. That was a 15-20 minute fight. Nothing happened on Serendia or Banos. And on Calpheon, so what happened on Calpheon was, so it was Corrupt and Ingenium were there, and so Cho Nation dropped on Calpheon as well, and they weren't trying to really go for a fight. They dropped on Calpheon and took out Ingenium, who only had 30-40 people in like 10-15 minutes, and then they locked Corrupt in Castle. Now when they were called out on that, they started spamming racial slurs and profanity in the tier 2 Discord, which I'm not gonna say what I think about it. It's up to you guys. You guys can decide what you think about it, but I'll leave it at that. So what I'm trying to say is, the NA siege scene, there's 5 guilds left. There's 5 siege guilds left. And that is Barcode, Black Rose, Show Nation, Vertex, and Corrupt, right? 5 guilds. Now, out of these 5 guilds, I'll say realistically, maybe only 3 of them really care about setting up fair, even fights on a region. And the other thing is, like, during each month, each of these guilds want to cap a region, right? So for example, if you're trying to set up a fight, a good 2v2, because 3v3 can't really happen because there's only 5 siege guilds left. If one of the siege guilds, let's say for example, Barcode wants a region. So like say you're trying to set up a fight on Medaya, right? And then Barcode wants to cap a region because maybe they want a week off next week. Now, how do you set up a fight where the win condition is Barcode needs to cap the region, or else they're not going to show up for the siege. They're going to go to another region and cap a castle there, right? How do you set up a fight like that when one guild definitely just wants the cap? It's like almost next to impossible, right, to set up a fair even fight. And you see this, people are asking in Twitch chats and streams all that, like, why is NA Siege so dead? Why is, Siege KEKW, who cares about Siege? And it's true. Like, no one cares about Siege anymore. And, like, the developers can't really do anything about it because it's entirely up to the community, right? Like, the developers can't be like, oh, we're gonna make Calpheon instead of paying 10 billion a week or 20 billion a week, so I'm gonna pay people 300 billion silver a week. Is that realistically gonna revitalize the siege scene? I don't think so. It's just gonna create more alliances. Like, just have an alliance that controls a region, and it's not really gonna go after like what are the best potential fights. It's entirely just up to the community, right? And right now, like, why would a noble guild ever want to do siege? What do they gain from doing siege? Nothing really. Like, they gain maybe 100 mil payout for each of their guild members, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's no incentive. Like, the reward is that guild might die the next week. That's the reward. Like, if something goes wrong, if a fight doesn't happen exactly the way they planned it, or if people mold and leave the guild dies, realistically. And there's been a lot of guilds that have joined Siege and just literally just died. the next couple weeks. And I can give you like a lot of cases where that happened, right? So let's set like Ecoda, FML, what else? Like there's a lot of examples, right? And if you want to have a list of all the dead siege guilds that's died over the past 2 or 3 years, I'll have a link about that video made a couple of weeks ago in the description down below. But also at the same time, right? The amount of effort and work required to run and organize a siege guild is just very demanding, right? It's way too stressful, and a lot of guilds, when a siege guild dies, is because the leadership decides to quit. They say like, it's not really worth the hassle or the effort to continue this guild, essentially. So if I was to summarize everything for you guys in the end, the reasons why I think NA Siege is so dead right now is because of how few active siege guilds there are left. So 5 siege guilds, and out of the active siege guilds, there is probably a minority of guilds that actually want to set up an even and fair fight on a given week. And in addition to that, there can be a lot of changes of politics, right? Which makes it like also kind of hard to set up even and fair fights. After that, it's that, you know, it's way too risky for notable guilds to... It's too risky and too hard for noble guilds to enter into siege. It's way too risky because if they enter siege and things go badly, things go south, their guild literally just dies. And that's not something a lot of guilds are willing to face up to, right? They don't want to deal with that drama. And lastly, I would say that, you know, the siege scene or I'll say the siege scene in general is pretty toxic. It's a pretty toxic community in general, and it's not really a good environment for guilds to grow and learn and become stronger and better. Right now, I think what can be a good community is maybe if you look at the tier 2 30-man notable community. I think that's pretty good. I think some elements of the tier 1 community are really nice. And I think that in general, some of the tier 2, tier 4, you know, 40 or 50 or 60 man community is, you know, they're focused around setting up fair and good fights, right? It's not about which guild gets which node or which region, no matter what happens. It's more about how can we set up the most fun fight for the most amount of guilds or members on a given night so that they have fun and they're willing to continually do node wars or continue to do siege, right? Because you gotta remember, at the end of the day, BDO is a game. Why would you do something in a game which isn't fun or which isn't enjoyable? Like for myself, right? I'm questioning, why do I show up for siege at this point? Like, is it fun? No. Is it like, I feel like some nights it's just literally a waste of my time. And I'll rather just not show up and all than spend 30, 40, 50 minutes in a fight that I just feel like where like I can do something better for my time, right? I'm sure that's how a lot of people feel as well. But yeah, anyways, if you guys have your thoughts, any thoughts or opinions, leave them in the comment section down below. Join the Discord, leave your feedback there. Or, you know, we can have a discussion on Twitch where I'm streaming live there on twitch.tv/JackieFelix. And apart from that, I wish you guys a lovely weekend and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.